Welcome to the deep dive. This is brought to you by Defiant, the on-chain lifestyle sports brand, keeping you in the loop.
Yeah, forget digging through everything yourself.
Exactly. We've done the sifting, found the 5 key stories in DeFi, entertainment, and sports you really need to know about this time.
And today, it feels like we're really zoning in on how digital assets are kind of integrating more, right, into the mainstream.
Totally. From like state treasuries all the way to the trading platforms maybe you use every day. It's quite a mix.
It is. And our goal, as always, is to get past just the headlines. We want to explore the why. What does this actually signal?
Okay, so let's kick things off with DeFi then. There's this news out of Arizona that, well, it definitely caught my attention. Handling unclaimed digital assets.
Ah, yes, that one. House Bill 2749.
Yeah.
Arizona's basically become the first state to set up a Bitcoin reserve fund specifically for these unclaimed assets.
A Bitcoin reserve fund, okay.
Yeah, and the really significant part, they're not just, planning to cash them out immediately. They're building a way to manage them as crypto.
In their native form. So if someone in Arizona, loses their keys or maybe just forgets about a wallet for a bit.
Exactly. If the rightful owner doesn't interact with it for, I think it's 3 years.
3 years, okay.
Then it's considered abandoned. But instead of just liquidating, the state puts it into this dedicated fund.
Right.
And here's where it gets really interesting. They actually have the power to stake these assets.
Stake them? You mean like earning yield?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Potentially earn staking rewards, maybe get airdrops. And all of that goes back into the reserve fund. I think of it like, I don't know, earning interest, but for crypto, held by the state.
Wow, okay. That feels quite forward-thinking. It's more than just custody. It's active management, potentially growing the value. I remember seeing that quote from Jeff Weininger saying, Arizona's being modern, precise, and understanding where finance is going seems spot on here.
Absolutely. It's a strong statement.
Does this set a precedent, do you think? Could we see other states doing this?
I mean, it absolutely could. It shows a real recognition, even at the government level, that cryptocurrency is a legitimate asset class.
Right, not just some niche internet money anymore.
Exactly. And if Arizona can show this model works, yeah, you might well see other states thinking, hey, maybe we should look into this.
Which I guess leads to the question, could states become significant crypto holders eventually?
It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? What would that mean for public finance, for the crypto markets themselves? Definitely one to watch.
For sure. Okay, let's shift gears a bit to the private sector. Robinhood, looks like they're making some moves in Europe involving blockchain.
Yes, that's the chatter. Developing a blockchain-based platform seems aimed at European retail investors.
For trading what, though?
For trading tokenized U.S. securities.
Tokenized securities. Okay, we've talked about the idea of this before, but Robinhood actually doing it, that feels like a pretty big step.
It does. And they're apparently looking at networks like Arbitrum, Ethereum, or Solana to build it on.
So what's the real benefit here for someone, say, in Germany or France?
Well, the big potential wins are efficiency and access. Tokenization could mean, much faster settlement times compared to traditional rails.
Right. Less waiting.
And potentially lower costs. It could make it easier and cheaper for European retail investors to get exposure to U.S. stocks, maybe broadening access significantly.
Democratizing it a bit more.
Kind of, yeah. And it might put some pressure on the established European brokers to innovate too, explore similar tech.
So is leveraging blockchain for traditional assets, not just crypto trading?
Exactly. It shows these bigger financial players are seeing the real infrastructure benefits of blockchain beyond just the native crypto assets. Could really change cross-border retail investing.
Interesting. Okay, and sticking with global finance, Stripe, they've just rolled out something significant with stablecoins.
Yeah, big news from Stripe. They're now letting businesses in over 100 countries use stablecoin-funded accounts.
Stablecoin-funded accounts, what does that actually mean for a business?
It means they can hold funds, receive payments, and crucially, pay vendors internationally using stablecoins. Specifically, they mentioned USDC, which is, very established, and also USDB.
Okay, USDC and USDB. So if I run a business and I pay suppliers overseas.
Right, instead of dealing with, slow bank wires, conversion fees, delays.
It can be a real headache.
Totally. You could potentially just hold USDC or USDB in your Stripe account and pay that vendor directly in stablecoins. Faster, probably cheaper, more transparent.
That sounds genuinely useful, especially, I imagine, for businesses in places with volatile local currencies.
Absolutely. Stablecoins offer that, well, stability against the US dollar, which can be a huge advantage there. It's another sign of stablecoins finding real-world utility for, like, everyday business.
Yeah, moving beyond just trading. Okay, let's switch lanes again into the world of NFTs and digital communities. Doodles, they've got a token launch coming.
That's right, the DOOD token. It's launching on Solana May 9th is the date they gave.
Solana, okay. Interesting choice. And the token itself?
Total supply is 10 billion, and get this, 68% of that is allocated to the community.
Wow, 68%. That's a pretty hefty community allocation. Shows commitment, I guess.
It really does. And what's also quite notable, maybe for the wider NFT space, is that they're planning listings on Binance Futures and Binance Alpha even before the main launch.
Really? So trading it before it's even fully out?
Seems like it. It signals, I think, a big shift for Doodles. They're moving from being primarily, a collectible PFP project.
Right, the art.
Towards becoming more of a platform.
Right.
With this DOD token driving utility, maybe governance, who knows.
So the token becomes central to this whole Doodles ecosystem they're building.
That looks like the plan. It raises that question again. How do these NFT projects build something sustainable beyond just the initial hype? Maybe native tokens are a key part of that answer.
Yeah, giving holders more ways to engage, more reasons to stick around. We'll definitely keep an eye on how they integrate DOOD.
For sure. It's a trend we're seeing more and more NFT projects using tokens to build out utility and community. The space is definitely maturing.
Okay, one last piece of news, bridging crypto and the huge world of esports. Coinbase and Riot Games.
Big partnership just announced, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Coinbase is now the exclusive crypto exchange partner and also the official blockchain tech partner for Riot's global esports.
And that means League of Legends and Valorant.
Exactly. Two absolute giants in the esports scene. Massive global audiences, super engaged fans.
That feels like a really smart play for Coinbase, getting in front of that many, digitally native young people.
Huge potential reach, absolutely. And they're not just slapping a logo on things, apparently. The plan is to integrate blockchain rewards.
Rewards? Like what?
Well, they haven't detailed it fully, but you could imagine things like exclusive digital collectibles, maybe special access powered by blockchain for fans who watch or participate. They also mentioned custom segments during broadcasts.
Okay, so trying to actually weave blockchain into the fan experience.
That seems to be the goal.
Yeah.
It's less about just advertising crypto, more about using the tech to make being a fan potentially cooler or more rewarding.
Which could be a really effective way to introduce these concepts, right? Make it feel natural, part of something they already enjoy.
Precisely. It could genuinely bridge that gap between the crypto world and this massive gaming audience, introducing digital assets in a context that makes sense to them. Huge potential for adoption there.
So quite a journey today. We've covered Arizona getting into Bitcoin reserves, Robinhood maybe tokenizing U.S. stocks for Europe, Stripe making global stablecoin payments easier, Doodles dropping a token on Solana, and Coinbase teaming up with Riot Games.
Yeah, a lot happening. It really shows how fast things are moving, how this tech is filtering into finance, art, entertainment, sports, pretty much everywhere.
And that's what we try to do here on The Deep Dive, brought to you by Defiant, to go beyond just what happened and explore the so what, The
implications.
Exactly. Giving you the context and analysis to make sense of it all.
So maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. As you see blockchain merging more and more with traditional finance, with digital communities like Doodles, with huge entertainment platforms like esports, how do you think this convergence might ultimately change your digital life, your finances, how you engage online, even how you experience fun? Something to ponder as this landscape keeps evolving.